Hello folks, it's Anahita Rao. I am going to speak about the yearly forecasts today. I'm going to go over some trends for 2019, and then I will also give you a general overview of your sign. Remember, this is a general forecast for each sign, and I would advise that you listen to both your moon sign as well as your rising sign. And again, this is according to the sidereal and not the tropical calculation. So please check your sidereal sign for this. So the big question is, as usual, should you see the transit from the ascendant or should you see it from the moon? Now remember, ascendant stands for the intellect. It stands for your personality, your intelligence. So the effects that you experience are going to be visible and can be seen by everyone. Whereas the moon, everything is happening at the mental and the emotional level. So it will be more hidden, more personal, more internal, and sometimes more painful. So it may not be visible to the world as it can be shielded by you. Now, what your dasha will promise is going to take precedence and priority over any of the transits. So, for instance, if you are in the Saturn dasha, then I would place more emphasis on the Saturn transit and see how it impacts you and your life. Now, of course, the biggest news this year is the movement of Rahu and Ketu. Rahu has suffered for the past 3 years in Cancer and Leo, as well as I would say Ketu as well, because they were transiting through their enemy signs. Both the Sun and Moon are the node's biggest enemies. And Rahu will finally leave on March the 23rd to go into Gemini, a sign where it does exceptionally well. And it's very comfortable here. This will bring a relief in policies related to immigration, international trade, foreign deals, all Rahu related matters. And Ketu, of course, is going into the sign of Sagittarius, which is Jupiter's sign. A really beautiful place for Ketu, and it does very well there. Of course, we have Saturn here as well, and in fact we all know that there will be a big Saturn and Ketu conjunction coming up in 2019. The months to really watch for are July, August and September, although I would say keep a watchful eye from the months of anywhere from May till October. But the summer months will be the most intense, and you will really feel it then. Another period to be watchful for this year is the period between June the 2nd and June the 16th, as we have a Mars-Rahu conjunction then, which is a very, very close conjunction, particularly given the fact that there will also be at the same time the opposition, the exact opposition, in fact, between Mars and Saturn on June the 14th. Most important retrograde this year is that of Saturn from late April till mid-September, because this will directly impact the Ketu and Saturn conjunction. Dual signs are going to experience the most dramatic changes this year. The dual signs, of course, are Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and Sagittarius. So if you have your Sun, Moon, or even your Ascendant in any of these signs, then you're going to really feel the impact this year, and there will be a lot of changes coming your way. So for Capricorn, the year will be good overall, and you can finally breathe a sigh of relief as you went through a very difficult 2018. This year you may reach new landmarks in life. you would be confident to face most situations. And this is, of course, primarily because Jupiter has been transiting and will continue to transit through your 11th house, which will help you achieve a lot. So all around prosperity can come your way in all facets of life: marriage, children, career, income, because all planets do well in the 11th house, especially Jupiter and Saturn. A secondary source of income may appear. You can have a growth in your income as well. Whatever efforts you put into your career, you will see the results of that now. It is also a fantastic time to develop new connections and network. And make new friends. Saturn remains in your 12th house all year, and this marks the beginning of the very dreadful Sadhi period, the 7.5 year Sadhi period. It would be better to avoid making any sort of major decisions, especially from November onwards, for a while. I would say that in my experience, the most fierce aspect of Sadhi is when it goes over your moon sign, which it will enter in 2020. So I would say do as much as you can this year and accomplish as much as you can, because you may not feel like it next year. So it would be a great year to make any efforts to maintain friendly relationships or to foster understanding with your spouse or your partner, because that's going to come in handy next year when Saturn moves through your moon sign. So this is particularly the case if you have a Capricorn moon. I would say, of course, as everyone else, be watchful for the summer months where Ketu joins Saturn. So that could be a period where you want to avoid making big decisions. So very specifically, the period between May till mid-September is the most intense when it comes to the conjunction of Ketu and Saturn. So just be cautious around that time and avoid any big changes if you can help it. The big news this year is Rahu moving into the 6th house for you in March, which is a fantastic position for Rahu, bringing opportunities to learn about alternative healing and health. Rahu here in the 6th house increases the Vata element. So what happens with that, it produces a tendency to be more in your head than in your body, which is why it's very important when Rahu is transiting your 6th house to increase your activity. So it's a good time to reinvent any health routines. Try something new. For example, you might take up a yoga class or get an acupuncture treatment, and you will get really good results there. If you want to make changes in your career, you will have plenty of opportunities coming your way, especially if you are in Rahu Dasha or Antardasha. Overall, it's a good year for you. Just be watchful for the summer months, just like everyone else, from May till mid-September, especially if you are in Saturn or Ketu Dasha. All the best to you, Capricorn.